Dagan's tragedy. Dagan is the last of the clan Dolok, losing his wife at the hands of Zog's minions. Embittered by the cowardly murder of his wife when away from his home in the lost fortress of Skurlock, Dagan's lust for revenge knows no bound. Seething with anger, Dagan seeks those behind her death. He will not rest until justice is delivered. Tragedy. Dagan returns to find his wife in a bloodied heap, apparently given a slow, torturous death at the hands of assassin Fade. Fade's grin suggests she enjoyed this assignment, and it apparently includes Dagan's demise as well. Round 1. Ready. Fight! Round 2. Ready. Fight! Within her death throes, Fade, wishing to inflict a deep wound that might drive Dagan to his own demise, reveals that she is but the pawn of a greater evil, a power beyond death and of grave magic. The undead. Fade's last words pierced Dagan's woe-stricken heart. He had only touched the evil that slew his wife by striking the assassin down. She claimed a greater evil, beyond death and of grave magic, wished Dagan and his wife dead. If this power was beyond death, then surely the undead in the underground sewers would have answers. Dagan decided to see if the legendary living dead Stitch was behind this foul act. He found him, but Stitch refused to speak with Dagan. Determined to learn what Stitch knew, Dagan attacked Stitch, hoping to persuade him to talk. Round 1. Ready. Fight! You win! Round 2. Ready. Fight! You win! The insane Stitch, existing between life and death, could not be forced to reveal the secrets Dagan sought, and so he fell without a word. But as Dagan left the sewers, he heard the eerie voice of Stitch amidst sinister laughter, taunt that he was not dead. Dagan failed. Stitch had captured a girl Barbarian and planned to end her life too, like Dagan's wife. Rescue Keela. Rushing back into the cavernous sewers, Dagan desperately sought the elusive Stitch. Nowhere to be found, his heart sank. But then, he found a parchment stuck to a cracked skull with a rusted dagger. It was an order to bring Princess Keela to the prisons of a.k.a. for torture and eventual death. Dagan could not let this girl die, and so he journeyed to the prison to rescue her. As he searched, a huge man emerged from prison cell number 21, muttering something about being freed if Dagan died. Round 1. Ready. Fight. You win! Round 2. Ready. Fight! Waging fierce battle within the prisons of a.k.a., Dagan stopped the brutish fiend called 21. Dagan learned Stitch had been there just before and took Keela with him when he left, thwarting Dagan's hope to rescue the princess. Dagan convinced a guard to expose that Stitch's destination was the spider's lair. Determined to save the girl, Keela, from the same fate of his wife, Dagan marched with abandon across the harsh lands of Barbaria without rest or sleep until he finally came upon the dark underearth known as the Spider's Lair. Barely had he entered the mouth of the dungeon, a foul green gas filled the air around him. Weakened by the poison, Dagan struggled to steady himself. Stitch and Thug stepped into view. This was a trap. Round 1. Ready. Fight. You lose. Round 2. Ready. Fight. You win. Round 3. Ready. Fight. You win. This time, filled with rage, Dagan pounded furiously upon the defeated Stitch until his bones splintered. There was no Keela, no clue as to her whereabouts, and only a pile of bones to show for the quest. But then Dagan noticed one of the henchmen aiding Stitch still lived. To save himself, he told Dagan that the undead Lord Magnus planned to sacrifice her to the mighty wizard Zog. The sacrifice. Though worn with the chase, the undead Stitch had fallen. Dagan's goal was at hand. Only the undead Lord Magnus stood in the way of rescuing Princess Keela from sacrifice. Keela was held in the hull of Magnus's old ship, and it was clear that Magnus would not let her free without a fight. His ghostly body turned to Dagan, his huge sword raised, and they fought. Round 1. Ready. Fight. You win. Round 2. Ready. Fight. You win! Magnus's ghostly form shimmering over his ethereal bones laid crumpled below Dagan's prowess. Princess Keela was saved and offered Dagan her aid should he need it. But what she could offer there was invaluable information. The mighty wizard Zog had an apprentice named Korath, and this sorcerer was the one who hired Fade to kill Dagan's wife. Demons within. Following the words of Princess Keela, Dagan began his trek to the far east. Somewhere in the distant kingdom of Time, near the eastern sea of Cordine, was this master wizard Korath, apprentice to Zog. Unsure of himself, Dagan's mind played tricks with him. He found himself engaged in battle with himself. Round 1. Ready. Fight. You win. Round 2. Ready. Fight. upon bringing his alter ego to its knees, Dagan realized more clearly than ever, it was his cause that defined him. He was Dagan of the clan Dolok, a warrior of Barbarian. His cause was to avenge his wife's murder and do only that which is good. His cause was to slay Korath. Korath had been known to work magic in the lower Darklands, and there may be clues to his sorcery there. Korath's home in the Land of Desolation was close. Dagan could taste his revenge, and it was sweet. Lost chances. Dagan, fueled with hatred and revenge, traversed Barbaria's unforgiving land to arrive at the Land of Desolation, home to the wizard Korath. The wizard snickered as he turned to Dagan. He warned Dagan that his murderous quest in the name of his wife was now to come to an end. Korath grinned as he entered combat. Round one. Ready. Fight. You win. Round two. Ready. Fight. You win. Finding Dagan a formidable foe, Korath looked upon him and let out a gasping laugh. Korath's dark smile concerned Dagan, for it was not natural. Korath's hand began to melt like wax, dripping to the ground, then his arms, legs, and body. This was a simulacrum, a magical copy of the real Korath. Dagan was fooled, and his intentions now known. Ill-prepared. Marching into the volcanic region of Barbaria, Dagan's confidence was high. His weapon sharp, mind-focused, and of strong will. Dagan was prepared for anything, or so he thought. He'd walked right into a trap set by the demon Jinn. She was ready with a curse and several thugs to help her. Round 1. Ready. Fight. You win. Round 2. Ready. Fight. You lose. Round 3. Ready. Fight. You win! The wicked demon Jinn finally fell along with her minions. She knew Dagan was coming and prepared for him, but her spells were not enough to prevail. She was not dead, however. In a fiery flash, Jinn was gone, a snicker heard as if from within Dagan's skull. She taunted Dagan to find her and her summoner Korath in the land of desolation. Fallen lords. The wizard Korath stood firm before Dagan, his demon Jinn by his side. His sinister laugh echoed across the desolate expanse of what was once a great empire. Pointing to a pillar that emanated a hair-raising force as if electricity filled the air around it, he told of his lord and master, the archwizard Zog, and of how this pillar was one of 3 master pillars of corruption. Round 1. Ready. Fight. You win. Jin had fallen, and with her summoner Korath's life ending, would return to the underworld whence she came, and return no more. Korath, eyes wide with disbelief, pleaded to be helped from his mortal blow. He offered the whereabouts of the other pillars of corruption. Dagan spared Korath for this knowledge, for Korath explained that it was Zog who ordered Fade to slay his wife, not he. Guardian lost. Into the venomous swamp strode Dagan, seeking the second pillar of corruption. He found it, arcing with an electrical force stronger than the first. It seemed to be drawing more energy from Barbarian than the first, compensating for there now being only 2 pillars remaining. A corrupted a.k.a., now the destroyer of nature, stood ready to defend the pillar. Dagan could see that this a.k.a. was drawing power from the pillar, making her stronger and perhaps unbeatable. Her good soul was dark and evil, twisted by the corrupting forces exuded by the pillars. Round 1. Ready. Fight. You win. With the pillar destroyed, the dark a.k.a. fell lifeless. It was not a.k.a. at all, but a phantom fueled by the evil magic of the pillar. Dagan wondered what force might lie ahead for the final pillar, if this invincible a.k.a. was at the second. Naraka's Wrath. Entering the lower Darklands, Dagan found Korath defending the final pillar. Fear was in his eyes, for he knew Dagan was strong. He knew death was his if he defied Zog. He had summoned Jin once more from Naraka, but this time she was stronger and far more powerful. Round 1. Ready. Fight. You win! The pillar fell to its destruction, and Korath and Jin were defeated. Dagan, worn and beaten, knew the time to confront Zog was now. A glowing red portal swirled in place of the broken pillar, with electrical arcs shooting from it to the stone and earth all around. Finale. Dagan, my foolish Dagan. I am Zog. I beset Barbaria with the magic you've destroyed, but you are too late. I have the power I needed already, mortal. The gods themselves dare not confront me, so how would you think you could stop me? I am Zog. Round 1. Ready. Fight. Dagan defeated me, and I was glad. I realized so long ago that my quest for power could not be stopped while I lived. My brilliance had conceived everything, or so I thought. How could I not realize that I would become immortal at the destruction of all life on Barbaria? I did not want to destroy the people I wished to rule. I did not desire such corruption and decay of life. I ruined so many lives, felled kingdoms in my dream. Dagan was the true heir to rule Barbaria, and he was the one of prophecy. I knew this, and I am saddened to have had his wife slain. But what else would drive him so hard to destroy me? It was much evil I had wrought to end my own life, but it is a far better thing I do this day than ever I have done before. Dagan of the Clan Dolok, you are the king of Barbaria. Rule and protect it wisely. Let the course of nature play out as Ayara would have had it. Keep your heart true, as the noble Keela did. Let not greed or power corrupt you, as they have so many others. Let your rule be good and just. And I am sorry, Dagan, for everything. For your wife.